A battle is brewing up on Capitol Hill right now over funding to Zika virus in the United States. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says there are now at least 503 cases of Zika in 45 states, all contracted during travel outside the United States. With me now is Senator Bill Nelson of Florida. Senator, thanks very much for joining us. I know you and your Republican colleague, Senator Marco Rubio, in a bipartisan effort, you've been trying to push for nearly $2 billion requested by the White House to fund this Zika crisis right now. The Senate only approved about half that amount. Can you live with that?
Well, you can live with whatever you can get because this is a real crisis. Another 3 of those cases occurred yesterday in Florida. That brings Florida to 116. But we're looking at the possibility of our American citizens in Puerto Rico having 20% of that entire island infected with the Zika virus.
How do you prevent that from happening in Florida, where the climate obviously is not all that different than it is in Puerto Rico, Central America, or South America for that matter, where the problem is obviously more acute?
Right now, until you get a vaccine, that'll take a couple of years. Until you get through all of the intricacies of genetic alteration and wipe out that strain of the mosquito, the Egypti, the only thing you can do is mosquito control. So, Wolf, can you imagine being a pregnant woman this summer in the southern United States if your county does not have the funds for mosquito control? You're going to be petrified the entire summer.
So should pregnant women stay away from Florida?
Pregnant women should be in an area where they're taking all the precautions of mosquito control. And that's what makes it so problematic in a place like Puerto Rico, where already they're in a financial crisis. Part of this money is to send money in for mosquito control and Medicaid, but it's to send that additional federal money to help the local governments do what they have run out of money.
I know Florida relies a lot on tourism. How worried are you, given the revenue that you generate from tourism, how worried are you that maybe tourists will stop coming to Florida until this problem is resolved?
Of course, that's a concern. But the long-term problem, Wolf, is we know now that, especially in the first trimester of pregnancy, if a woman has the Zika virus, then there is likely to be some problem in deformity with her baby. We just saw the first case of encephaly in Puerto Rico. It was through a miscarriage, but that is what is the horrendous tragedy to a family involved, and it is certainly going to be a huge cost to society to take care of these babies. And so you see the enormity of the problem. And for these guys to stick their heads in the sand and say, like the House has done, only $622 million, and part of that's going to come from the Ebola fund and so forth. I mean, they're just not facing that rough music that we have to face.
Senator Bill Nelson of Florida, good luck. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, Wolf.